Hello, welcome to today's episode of the Laundromat Millionaire Show, where we will be interviewing a new laundromat owner in Marrero, Louisiana, Lara Freeland. She is the owner of Pelican Laundromat, a zombie mat she has turned into a valuable community resource. Before that, let's talk about one of our partnerships, Laundromat Millionaire Insurance Program.
Yeah. So the Laundromat Millionaire Insurance Program, you may think, oh, great, another person selling insurance. I guess that's kind of true in a way. But why did we launch Laundromat Millionaire Insurance? The reason is because this is an incredibly volatile thing that's happening in our industry right now. So this is a difficult time for us independent operators. And everything we do here at Laundromat Millionaire is all about bringing resources to and streamlining problems in the industry. And we were able to partner with an amazing organization that is, quite frankly, doing some amazing things when it comes to insurance in our industry. So whether we can take a look at your quotes and help you save money, take a look at your quotes completely for free or your current policies even, and just give you advice on what you should do differently, things you should add, riders, maybe things like that. Or if we can help you write a policy, we're happy to do that too. So ultimately, as you know, the Laundromat Millionaire platform is all about bringing value and solving problems for us independent owners. Solving problems for us independently here at Queen City Laundry, because we have our insurance now through the Laundromat Millionaire Insurance Program, or for you. So no obligation.
Them unless we use them.
Yes. Don't ever forget that. A lot of people will say, oh, you're just trying to sell this, trying to sell that. No. We only promote and partner with organizations that are rock star individuals that are doing good things in the industry for laundromat owners, with laundromat owners. And that starts with us. So we vet them first. If we won't use them, we will never recommend that you use them. So keep that in mind. That's today's partner spotlight before we get into the episode. But let's jump right in because you're going to hear some good stuff from Lara today.
We needed a side hustle. We are 24-hour unattended. Our customers love it. No, we're not going to have quarters. That same card also gains you access into our facility after 10 p.m. We are in there every night. It can be done. Anyone can do this.
So Lara, welcome to the show. It's so nice to have you.
Hi, thank you.
Yep.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So I got to ask you right off the bat before we even jump into it, Pelican Laundromat. So you're located in Louisiana. Is there a correlation there? Where did the name come from?
So thank you for asking about the name Pelican Laundromat. It took a while to come up with our name.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to be, our goal is to own 4 to 6 laundromats. And we wanted something that was specific to New Orleans and really emulate the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Mardi Gras, but that's only a short time of the year. Jazz Fest, same, just a specific period. But our state bird is the pelican.
Oh, okay.
And they are everywhere. They're a fascinating bird. And that way it can be across this Southeast Louisiana region. We actually worked on the logo a little bit and just getting rave reviews about the name of Pelican Laundromat for sure.
Yeah.
I like it. Cool. I like it. We can see your logo there behind you, and it's very cool looking.
I always love it when I see professional branding, which you obviously have put the time and energy into that, and it's very obvious to us because that tells me, not always, but it typically tells me as somebody that's just kind of a laundromat nerd in general and very passionate about people elevating their game and finding that higher end facilities and operations. Usually if you'll spend that much time and energy on your branding, you're not going to do that and not spend more time on your facilities and your operations and your knowledge and your networking and all the things that go into making a top operator. So good for you.
And as someone that's not into branding, I appreciate that. Thank you. To help those independent owners. I'm not an artist, right? I'm a talker, but I'm not an artist. So how do you find that? And we went through Fiverr, Fiverr, and we went through portfolios of the different marketing books of the people on there. We found a woman from the Ukraine, kind of sketched out a couple things, a little bit of this, little bit of that. Her first go around, it was perfect. We said done. So It was a great resource that it was easy to find. It was done all virtually. And every now and then I send her an email about, okay, we did this, we did that. So she can add it to her portfolio as well and grow her business.
Yeah,
and the pricing is super reasonable.
Yes.
Like it's
so
crazy.
Yeah, it was really good pricing.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a great tip right off the bat, because I don't think a lot of people realize, some things it's really hard to do virtually and overseas and all these kind of things, but a lot of graphic design and even video editing. I mean, Carla does all that in-house, but there's a lot of really talented, skilled people out there, and you just got to find them. And Upwork and Fiverr and all these different places are great ways to do that, really, really reasonably priced. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, good advice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, go ahead.
I was going to say, so you're fairly new to the industry. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, what brought you to the area, and what made you want a laundromat? What made you so entrepreneurial?
Let me guess. You always grew up wanting to own a laundromat. That's what everyone says.
Exactly, right? Yeah, the little girl. No.
Said no one ever.
I know, crazy. So coming to Louisiana and getting into the laundromat business, it's a fun story. So COVID hit. I was working for a ginormous CPG food company, and part of my organization, including myself and other resources, we were being sold to another company. Everything was virtual, and I was living in Chicago. The real estate market got hot. I turned 50 and said, I want no more snow. So I called my boss. I said, can I do this from any other city in the United States? Sure. So sold my townhome in a matter of days. Didn't know anyone in Southeast Louisiana, but I'd always traveled here from Mardi Gras, and my career had taken me here for different food excursions. Loved the city and said, I'm moving to my favorite city. Packed everything up and shipped it in some sort of container that ended up somewhere down here. Through friends of friends, ended up in a fully furnished studio apartment for 6 months while I found a house. I am very lucky. 2 things happened. I found house and love. The house came first and love was second. Married a great man from the area here a year ago. And as we started talking about our future and our financial being, we needed a side hustle, right? So where's that high side? I'm selling food. So I've worked in kitchens. I don't want to be on my feet. It's a lot of hard work. It's hot. It's laborious. I think no.
Yeah. Well, and restaurants have very slim margins, I've always heard. And the waste amount, the costs. Yeah.
I don't want to work. I didn't want to have a day job and then go night somewhere. I was inspired by Erin V_Carpenter at Instagram and saw her laundromat reel and said, I called him one night and I said, I think we should look at laundromats. So we dove into it through Google, that wonderful machine. Google, ended down, many rabbit holes of experts, not experts, the goods, the bads, the ins, the outs, and said, yeah, we can do this. He is beyond mechanically inclined. There's nothing this man cannot fix, and there's nothing I can't sell. So we're like, okay, we can do this.
Nice. Power couple.
Yeah, exactly. Just like y'all, right? Exactly.
Awesome. Love it.
We walk in your steps.
So when was this? Back us up a little bit as far as a timeline. What, maybe just even year. What year was it that you maybe moved there and got married, and obviously more importantly, got the laundromat, started watching videos? Is this all happening in like 2 weeks, or how crazy are you?
I think it's pretty crazy. So I think I got down here in 2020. We met shortly. We got married in 2023 at St. Patrick's Day. And then it was after we came back from the honeymoon, kind of said, let's kind of think about side hustle. And then we actually found a zombie mat, worked out a great lease, and gutted it in August of 2023, retooled it. In September of 2023, we were open. And like y'all said, it's March of 2024. It's been a very short journey. We're very lucky. We are grateful that we can be in service, and that's one of our goals too. And it was meant to be, I think.
There's nothing better than free. Ever heard that before? Well, it's not true. You know what your laundromat customers like even better than free? It's fast. That's right. They want to save time, more than they want to save money in most cases. They want to get in and out of your laundromat as fast as possible, and they'll pay more for that experience. We're proof of that here in Cincinnati. That's why we added HM Company drain troughs into our newest store in Cincinnati. While they may never know why, your customers will love that your washers all drain better and faster than with old school drain pipes. As if that wasn't enough, every HM drain trough is made in the USA, so they ship in only a few weeks, and everyone is custom made just for you and your project. If you want to provide your customers with a top of the industry experience in your store, then contact your distributor to order your HM Company drain trough today or visit draintroughs.com.
So it didn't even take you very long to find a laundromat. Did you look at several different ones, or like this was like a gold mine and you just came upon it the first one you looked at? Or
Right. We looked at a lot. So, we do our due diligence. I'm a spreadsheet girl. So I got all our spreadsheets and we're driving through, and I'm trying to GPS everything. He's born and raised here. So he's like, we don't need your GPS. So we start bouncing around and we kind of rated them A, B, C, D, E, F. We want the D's and the F's. We're kind of looking at that. And then we were driving to go see one. And out of the corner of my eye, I see that familiar signage that's old and weathered. And I'm like, turn the car around. So he turns it around. We make a U-E, and it was actually a half a mile from where he was born and raised. And he's like, I never knew this was here. And it was tucked away.
was it even open? Was it still open?
You can say it was open. It had
air quotes.
It was open, yeah, with the ceiling fans all crooked, and all top loaders, maybe 2 or 3 working, dryers that the windows were like all punched out, maybe 2 or 3 dryers working, no air conditioning. So you're looking at this in June, and just the sweat is pouring off of you. As we had the vendors come in and kind of help us evaluate what kind of equipment and setup and everything. So it was a hidden little gem, and acted fast, and no guts, no glory. And here we are in the laundromat business. Yeah.
So it didn't have a for sale sign on it, I assume.
No, ma'am.
So you just figured out who the owner was and kind of cold called them. And did you have to then talk them into selling, or were they pretty open to it?
Well, we actually went the landlord route. So we were like, okay, let's engage with the landlord. There was nothing to buy there. There was nothing to buy. So we went to the landlord, who was running the laundromat, and it just wasn't. He was very, very busy with other businesses he was doing. And I said, let me be your renter. Let me take this off of your to-do list. You can make money off of me. Why don't you do that? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about a broken window, someone griping about quarters. Let's take that off your plate. He thought about it for about a minute. He told his wife about it. She thought about it for 30 seconds and said, no. Done. So that is how we ended up with it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I assume then it's a part of like maybe a strip mall?
It is. It's part of a strip mall. Okay. Yes, ma'am. So we have a dry cleaners next to us. Those guys have been there for a very long time. And then our landlord actually owns a little grocery store. And then there's also a nail salon in the shopping center there. Yeah. It's on a great corner. Across from us is an apartment building. And they have a need for washers and dryers. So we're in a great little spot. It's a wonderful community. We always brag that we have the best customers, and there's no other laundromat that has better customers than ours. There's no way.
I don't know. I think ours might. Just say, I'm just telling you, you have to come meet them.
We will. Yeah. And y'all come down here too, right? We've got many seasons that makes it worthwhile.
All right. Break it up. Not a competition.
Yeah.
All right. So you found the location. You negotiated with them. Doesn't sound like much negotiation happened, but had a conversation. It went really smooth. Walk us through what happened from there. And I'm curious, actually, let me back up a second. Before you even get there, how did you determine that you wanted this location? Other than it just being a good opportunity, did you do competitive analysis, and what did that look like? How did you walk through that journey? Did you just kind of say, it's available, they're going to work out a good deal, let's go, and never really do anymore? What did that look like for you, and any thoughts, pros and cons to how you approached it?
So how we approached getting to this location, one, they actually were engaged and had communication with us. We were looking at another spot as well, and then we were active with it was a brother-sister team. We were very active in working with them as well. We were going through their landlord. Their laundromat was in a little bit better shape, and their landlord really wasn't returning our phone calls. So engaging with the brother and sister was, so we were looking at two simultaneously. So I had two binders, this place and that place, and, evaluating things differently. We did do demographic pulls. So we did work on the demographics of that. And it helps that, David was born and raised right around the corner from the
For
one.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
We spent, you go down that rabbit hole of laundromats. In Louisiana, we always go out for snowballs in the hot summer because it's like this delectable dessert, right? It's like an icy from the Midwest. And every time we go get a snowball, that also involved driving by another laundromat. Like, let's drive by, let's check out the area. Every weekend we are driving by a laundromat. So we found this one was more open to it. And it was one of our distributor reps said, if you don't do this one, I will. So boom,
there we go.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you had so correct me if I'm wrong in this synopsis.
Please.
So you had found the location, you had taken a look at some others, didn't get the same engagement, walked through the process with them, had a fish on the hook, so to speak. And then you used your gut instincts. But you also used that, which I love, absolutely love that you brought this up, your husband having lived in that community his whole life. I tell people all the time, the reason so many of these franchises have struggled for decades and decades and decades at proper scale is because they think they can just put the numbers together. And I always say one of the biggest secret sauces to our industry, I don't know about any others, but the laundromat industry is really understanding the community. You could read demographics. You can even read P&Ls, which I guess you didn't see one of those. You can even talk to the landlord. You don't know how much you can believe what they say. But at the end of the day, there is no substitution for being a part of the community, even if just for a few years. But the longer you've been there, the better. And when we got in the business back in 2010, I didn't have a whole lot of things going for me. I mean, I didn't have mentors, coach. There wasn't the content that is today.
There was nothing.
There was nothing out there to help you. I did find a distributor really quick, which was great. But my essential gut instinct was I visited every laundromat within about a 20-mile radius of this zombie mat. And they were pretty much all in bad shape. Some worse than this one, some better. But I'd lived in that area for over 25 years. I grew up in the same zip code of the store we bought.
Yes.
And I just said, you know what, between my gut instinct, between knowing traffic patterns and, this community isn't going away anytime soon. It was run down so we could buy it for virtually nothing. We knew we could turn it into something amazing. And then we knew there was a need in the community. And I never even actually looked at a demographic report. I didn't even know what it was back then because I knew my community so well. And like I said, I did have a distributor on my side, so I don't want to sound too reckless. But when people get in the industry, there's a lot of ways to do it wrong. And man, one of the best ways to do it right is to just understand the community. Now, if you know to also read demographic reports and find a great distributor, you're going to have even more of a heads up, and you did all those things too. Want more profits out of your laundromat business? Let us tell you about our new company, LaundroBoost, and how it can help you to boost your profits. You may be thinking you've used digital marketing companies before and they wasted your time and money. Well, that's why LaundroBoost was born. As 14-year veteran laundromat operators ourselves, we've been there, and it's sickening.
So what makes LaundroBoost different? Our team combines technical digital marketing with veteran laundromat operators and coaches to give your campaigns the ideal blend for getting you results. But then we take it a step further with our strategy. Our strategy is to be hyper vigilant with every marketing dollar, so no fluff.
Yeah, in the beginning, we focus on a three-pronged approach that we think is unique in the industry. The first is website design and landing pages, making sure those are honed in properly. The second is daily analytics studies and strategy with your Google AdWords campaigns. And the third is geofencing. It focuses on your nearest competitors and where your ideal customers live and where they shop. We believe we've got something special, and we've spent our own dollars here in Cincinnati to test it, and we're growing faster now than ever before.
To learn more, schedule a free discovery call and market study for your market. Visit laundryboostmarketing.com today.
So tell us about the distributor, and you can share the name, not share the name. It's up to you how much information you want to share. How helpful were they before you bought it, or did you find them after you acquired the store? What did that relationship look like?
So for me, connecting with the distributors here down in Southeast Louisiana was a little bit of a challenge. My area code is 630, and they're all prejudiced down here if you don't have a 504 area code.
Oh, really?
So I would leave message after message with these people going, I actually live in Louisiana. Trust me, I'm here. I know my phone number doesn't reflect it, but I am here. And
you're like, know why they're not calling you back.
Because they're
I
like,
love it.
I'm not talking to her. She's some, chick from Chicago. The accent kind of gives it away, and then a 630, and they're nah. So, and it is a very tight network. So we worked. We reached out to Hepsh, Speed Queen, and Dexter, and all three came out, evaluated our space, kind of gave their pros, their cons, their tips, that. And we ended up going with Scott Equipment. And they do the Dexters.
Okay.
Our number one reason, it was tied. First of all, Dexters are made in America in Iowa. So that was very important to us. If we're going to be of service to the community, if it's important to support our community, then it extends to America, right? So we wanted something American made.
Is that why you honed in on Alliance? I don't know if you know this, Alliance is in Wisconsin.
Yeah, American made too.
So Alliance Laundry Systems is an American made company too. A lot of people misunderstand that. They do stuff overseas, but everything that's shipped in the U.S. is made in the U.S. And then, of course, Dexter is too. Is that why you honed in on those two companies versus other companies?
Because Hepsh and Speed Queen are both made by Alliance, and then Dexter.
Yeah, they're American made too. So I'm just curious if that's that's why you honed in on those, or did you even know that? I don't know.
I did know that. So how that kind of correlated together. First of all, the others didn't return my phone call.
Okay.
So
there you go. Tough to do that.
And it was like pulling teeth. It is. And so what's crazy is, so I come from food, right? You go to a restaurant and you want to buy ketchup, right? So you call your primary broadline distributor and you say, I want ketchup. Well, they'll sell you 15 brands of ketchup. What's important? It's organic. Is it big? Is it small? Is it made in America? Is it not made in America? Do you want it with a company with this mission, or do you want a company that says this? Do you want to oppose this company because you hate what they're selling and saying, and so you want to support this company? There's a million ways. You go to one guy, you can buy your ketchup, right? But in the laundromat world, that doesn't happen. You got to go to each guy and get a quote. Very unusual. I could not get my arms around that. Like, why aren't you just... So Hep's came out, and the Speed Queen, again, totally different companies that came out. And then the Dexter rep came out too. And it was just an interesting process to go through, that it's three different companies selling the same thing. A washer and a dryer, right? And that you just, I'm like, why is it not one-stop shop? So, one of the biggest challenges I think that it faces our industry is the lack of transparency. And I see a lot on the formats on Facebook. I'm going a big, long way to answer your question, Dave. Sorry about that.
No, you're okay.
But I think it's the transparency of cost. Now, I will say that my bids came in pretty close to the same price per machine. So that gave me a little bit of confidence that I was pursuing the right track. But I am used to an industry, if you buy one, it's one price. But if you're going to buy a pallet or a truckload of something, you get deeper discounts. So when you're talking about laundromats, if I'm buying one washer, 6 washers, 12 or 24, there's no price break as I can tell. So it was a very unusual conversation because, I kept saying, well, what if I pay you cash? What if I pay you early? How do we work this if I can work schedule and you're already over here anyway and you squeeze me in? Your crew can work nights. There's no one that lives around here. Can I get a discount for that? Where can I get the savings? And there aren't any.
That's very true.
Interesting.
So did you find, I know for us, a lot of it's about the relationship. Like we chose our machinery based on the distributor that we liked, like the person that we're going to be working with. Was that a lot of it for you? Since you said the quotes were comparable, the machines were comparable, what was the deciding factor between the Hipsch, Speed Queen, or the Dexter? Why Dexter?
I think that's a very fair question. Why did we pick the way we went, right? So for the hips, really didn't connect with the salesperson, and there was a lack of follow-up. So, okay, that takes me down from 3 to 2. It was a fun experience with the Speed Queen rep. It was a nice young man, first job, and his boss was mentoring him. And as a sales professional, would give feedback to him and his boss and say, if I can share, I can see some disconnects and allow me to help you guide your new rep. And we worked together on that. And it just, at the end of the day, our Dexter rep, Christian, was above and beyond expectations. It is the kind, he treated us as I like to think I treat my customers, so that he's local. He's been in the business. He's been out of the business. He's been back in the business. And he definitely wasn't afraid to say, this is a good idea or a bad idea. So that was helpful. It wasn't all yes, yes, yes.
So what are you willing to tell us about this deal you made? So what kind of deal did you make? What did the lease look like? What was the negotiation process?
Boy, what did the deal look like? And they're all different, right? How I wanted it, you think about it, it went pretty close. Like it was good. We came in, we did sign a 20-year lease. We got it at a great price per square foot. Our cams are very reasonable. And we locked it in. We're able to negotiate the first 2 years at the same rate. So that way I'm not absorbing price increases. For free rent, we didn't get a lot, but we got a little bit to get the build going. And I know a lot of times you'll say you want to do, get really good rent, right? Because, or free rent. So that way you can get these customers back in. They weren't coming. There was no customer to get back. They had already left. So it was almost totally just brand new marketing. So I was more concerned about construction not being done, my equipment not being in, and we're not generating funds. But it happened. It just was a perfect storm of enough equipment. I think it was funny. One of the things that happened was an 80-pound washer accidentally got delivered. We had one extra in the shop. So
there was your discount.
I kept saying that as a buy one, get one. And I didn't get a BOGO on that. I really tried. More than once I asked. And so this accidental 80-pounder got sent. And we were like, do we put it in or not? And Chris came in and he's like, you got to do it. And it was the best decision we made. So that was really good. So we did our rent. Our cams are reasonable. They're set. It's a very simple strip mall. There's no grass. It's all, blacktop out. We made some personal improvements from the get-go. We installed air conditioning. It didn't have air. And we also installed some major industrial fans to help keep the air cool. We just completed, we have 2 goals for Q4, and that is to put tent on the window. As our customers are folding in the window, it gets really hot. So we put tent up, and our other goal is to install a new water heater. Our deal for the equipment, so we got it as is. There was a very, very small payment made to them, and it was very small. And that was basically for the pipes and existing infrastructure. There wasn't a machine we kept. We loaded it up, took it to the dump. But the bones were there, and that is what we needed. And it had great bones. We redid all the electrical. The plumbing was we kept everything in the same space. So we didn't alter the design of it, but we kept everything where it was. And
so the layout was good already.
The layout was fantastic. We call it a shotgun down here in New Orleans. So it's a little shotgun setup. So washers on one side and dryers on the other.
Pretty common.
I hope
for
that
a small
answered your
space.
question.
Yeah. What are the terms of your lease? So like for how many years, how many year options?
So we have a 20-year lease plus 5-year option. And I also asked for right of first refusal to buy the potential of the strip mall. So
nice.
right now it's family owned and the landlord has several brothers and sisters, but we know how brothers and sisters can be and they never get along. And if it turns out there's an opportunity to purchase the land and the space, we have right of first refusal to that. So excited to get that written in.
Yeah, for sure. How big is this space that the laundromat's in?
Our space, it's total space is 1,000 square feet of a shotgun setup. Our space is about 800 of that in actual laundromat space.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the retail area, like where the customers go, is 800, but the total square foot you rent is 1,000 even?
It's about 1,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. We have a little back room for the water heater.
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure. So
and you're 24-hour unattended, is that right?
We are 24-hour unattended. So
Why
was
that choice?
You want to talk about, you watch a lot of videos of the bad things that happen in laundromats.
Yes.
But we knew we needed to be of service into our community. And our community is very blue collar. We have a lot of tradesmen, a lot of, electricians, welders, landscapers. We have carpenters. We have oil outriggers, right? So they go out and they live on ships for a month at a time. And then they come back into land and they need to do laundry. We have a lot of blue collar. We have a lot of oil business down here. So they work 13-hour shifts. We find a lot of laundromats close at 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're talking last wash it, the big signs of last wash, I just never understood that. Like, take care of your customer, right?
Yeah.
So 2 things we knew going in to be 24. We knew we didn't want quarters. And we knew we wanted a way for our customers to feel safe in that 24-hour window. So the first thing we did was implement LaundryWorks in all of our in our system. Love it. Love the LaundryWorks. Love our customers. Love it. We were nervous and they were nervous. And because in our community, people would come by it all the time when we were in their building. Y'all ain't gonna have quarters? No, we're not gonna have quarters. Are you, but they love the debit card system. We take debit card, credit card, Google Pay, Apple Pay, EBT cash, you name it, I'll take it.
Do you do loyalty cards with LaundryWorks too?
We do. We have a customized card for that. So it says it's our logo, on the card that they can use in our laundromat. But that same card also gains you access into our facility after 10 p.m. So we have it working much like a gym key or a hotel room key. So at night we have 9 cameras throughout our facility, so we know who you are, and it's monitored. And then we have our LaundryWorks card. Actually, you place it on a special apparatus that unlocks the door, and you can come in from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. If you don't have a Pelican laundromat card, you won't get in unless someone's nice. But that is how you access us after 10 p.m. So if you're I know, we love it. Our customers love it. They love it. So if you're doing laundry at 10, boom, you hear the click of the door and you're able to look and see who is there. And if you're coming in, since it's a shotgun setup, there's no hidden spaces. Wow. So as you open the door, you can see if someone's in there or not.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I tell people this all the time. I've been in the business a while, and I've talked to quite a few laundromat owners and done a lot of research myself. And any product or service or company or distributor or manufacturer, you have enough conversations, you'll find they had a bad day, they messed up something, they maybe even integrity-wise did something they shouldn't have done. Nobody's perfect. I'm still floored to this day that I've never heard anyone say a bad word about LaundryWorks. And it's it's the closest thing to perfection I've ever seen.
Sorry, kind of an odd question.
Yeah.
Because especially with a 24-hour laundromat and especially with an unattended laundromat, what about your restrooms? Do you lock them? Do they use their card to get into the restrooms, or are they just open? Because that's kind of an extra challenge that people have in unattended facilities. Mm-hmm.
So you think about an unattended laundromat at 800 square feet in Louisiana, and you're wondering, what about a bathroom, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, we don't have one. So if you think of retail stores like a cell phone shop, neither do they, right?
Okay.
So
You're not required to?
We're small enough that it doesn't, our legislation or the size of it.
Yeah.
We also stayed within the same footprint as the last operator, and they too did not have a restroom. So we encourage our guests to shop local and go get a soda from the local restaurant. But speaking back to Laundry Works, here's what's great. They text you when your laundry is done, right? So our washers and our dry cycles, when they're ended, they'll text our guest, hey, laundry's done. We are not that far from a big box store that has a variety of groceries and everything else in there. So they can go get their shopping done. We have a lot of guests that actually go diagonal across the street from us is a gym. It's 24 hours. So they'll go work out and come back into the laundromat. And a lot of our customers live in the neighborhood and they know that. So I will say it's an objection we face often, but when you explain, hey, it's the same footprint as it was before, and here's all your opportunities to go somewhere else and get something else done too, they're like, oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
And they know.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
So tell us about the equipment. 800 square feet is not a lot of square feet. Tell us about the size of the equipment you have and the number of machines. I know you have at least 180.
Oh, yeah. So we have 3 20-pound machines.
Okay.
They are the first, as you walk in, they are at the furthest end, closer to the back of our store. And then we have 6 40-pounders kind of intermented in between. We have 2 60s and 2 80s. The layout is phenomenal. Again, Christian did a great job laying it out. I would have done escalating up or escalating down. And he had a lot of reasoning why to put an 80-pounder at the very front, maybe one more in the middle. The logic of now living it when someone comes in and they keep coming in and they come back in and they've literally got 8 giant trash bags of laundry and they're trying to decide what to use. It's nice to have all those machines separated a little bit so that way they can make the best choices for their clothes and what they're trying to clean. We have 4 machines that match the 40-pounders. I have 8 50-pounders and I have 2 80-pound dryers too. 75, whatever they are from Dexter's, 75s, 80s. So they match the equipment kind of one for one. We have 13 washers, 15 dryers.
Okay. Gotcha. And those are those 200G?
They are 100.
100G. Okay. Gotcha.
100Gs,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. So you take all forms of payment, going back to payment for a second, you take all forms of payment, including cash. You just don't take coins or cash at the machine. It's all through the card system.
It's all through the card system. So if someone's going to break in, you were asking earlier about 24 and unattended, right? So that's a feature that's fabulous too, because if someone were to come in and try to destroy a machine for money, there's nothing but wires. You're not going to get anything. There's nothing to get. Yeah. So that when that is quickly realized by someone who might be having some opportunity thoughts, that kind of derails them because there's nothing to get. There's no quarters in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's the community like? Is it would you describe it as a safe community? I know you described it as blue collar, your customers. Is it something, is there a reason you put the card on the front door and didn't just leave the front door open even for new customers overnight? Any safety concerns there, or what were your thoughts on that?
So our community is a very diverse community. It's a very bustling community. It's our laundromat's on a very, very busy 4-lane street. So it is very busy. We are 1 block away from an expressway. So it's a very hustle bustle area. Right. Our community, as far as our guests, are very diverse. It's wonderful on a Sunday in there. It is hilarious in the laundromat. Well, we love it. It is incredible. We have a reputation for being a chill laundromat, and also our Google reviews say very family friendly. Kids come in with the free Wi-Fi. Oftentimes they're doing homework while mom or abuela is busy finishing up laundry, or they're just chilling out. The guys that come in that have worked a 13-hour shift and they're just zoning in the YouTube. To feel safe in our community, it is a very safe. One thing I would point out, even as a zombie mat, as far as like destruction to the equipment. Someone had tried to break in, right, and try to get quarters and things, but we did not. The former operator sometimes wouldn't even lock the laundromat. Like he would tell one of his guests, "Hey, can you shut the door on your way out?" There was no graffiti in there. You never, you did not see any etched in swear words or graffiti. We don't have that in our neighborhood. And since we've brought in the equipment, I will say our customers tell us more often than not, "Hey, it was dirty, so I grabbed your broom and dustpan and I cleaned it up for you. There was a bunch of dryer sheets, don't know why, but I just went ahead and just swept it up for you guys and I put it in the trash. Thank you, and we'll compliment them sometimes with a free wash, free dry. But our community takes care of itself, and I think that they self-police.
That's fantastic.
A lot of times when they're so thankful too that you cleaned up their community laundromat and gave them a nice place. They respect what you did and they respect the place and want to keep it that way. And in regards to that, kind of connected, what do you do to keep it clean? Do you have somebody come by and check on it or clean it a couple times a day? What's the
schedule for cleaning?
For that.
Our schedule for cleaning is David and I. So we work, I work from home during the day and he works at a big shop with big, giant trucks. So if we can, either one of us will go and we physically have to hard open it every morning. So our time is 8 to 10 p.m. Sometimes we go in earlier. Sometimes if I after going to the gym or doing some yoga, you're just in the mood, just go ahead and keep going, unlock it. Every night we are in there and our customers love that the owners are in there. We are in there every night, one of us, and we are cleaning. So we have a regiment of cleaning all the washers, getting the lint out of all the dryers, dumping the trash. We do that every night and then we hard close at 10. So we have a key that locks a door a specific way that then requires your laundromat card to get in. So we clean every night. We have a deep cleaning schedule. We were trying to do it on Sundays, but we were busy in the way of our clients. So we ended up moving our deep clean now to Tuesdays. So we have deeper cleans that we do on Tuesday, like, dusting the top of the fans, things that are going to create a mess. And then we clean up after that. So yeah.
So what month was it you actually opened the store? Or
September of 23.
September of 23. We're recording this in March. It'll be released later. So you've owned it for roughly 6 months. How many, it sounds like you're doing everything right now. It even sounds like he's doing the repairs and maintenance and things like that, which I know you have new equipment, so probably not a whole lot going on there, hopefully. So how many hours would you say a week combined you and him spend in the business? Because I know you said you both have full-time jobs.
So I think combined, if we look at our hours spent in there, probably 20 hours total combined we spend in there. A lot of times we want to be in there on Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes as new people come in and they're Googling, right? And they want to learn how to use the equipment. Our customers teach customers, which is wonderful. Our customers have no problem. All of our machines too, we're in a very Hispanic, I would say 50% of our customers, English is a second language. So we worked with, my husband has a sign guy. Everyone's got a guy. So he has a sign guy and all of our equipment is dually languaged. So we have English and Spanish instructions on everything. Our washing machines have it. We have fill lines that we have, and it says it on our washers, don't fill above this point, both in English and in Spanish. Our laundry works, they have complimentary posters, how to work the equipment. We have those hanging above our laundry works machine. Also, Laundry Works is bilingual. So we also will show that to our customers that you can do it in Espanol. I speak enough kitchen Spanish to get by. So now I need to learn laundromat Spanish. I'm getting there.
Kitchen Spanish. I love it. I love it.
I can tell you how to cook and measure, but I can't tell you how to clean. So now I'm working on the laundromat Spanish. And our customers are great. Like they know I'm trying to learn and I'll show them like something on Instagram, like, here's what I've learned. And they laugh at me. We also have an iPad that we use behind the scenes. And oftentimes we use that for translations, which is great. There's just a quick translator, type it out in English and it'll translate to Spanish. We do that too. So if someone has a complaint or a compliment, we have a phone number and they can text or call. And we usually will reply to every text in both English and Spanish. Our crowd is very local, very appreciative. and they just love the business there, I think. Yeah.
Well, Carla said it best a few minutes ago. At the end of the day, if you take something that's in bad shape and you make it better, whether that's perfect, amazing, Taj Mahal, or just better than it was, your community is going to appreciate it. When we first got in the industry, I mean, all of our stores have been zombie mats, but we first got in the business, we didn't have a lot of resources. And so we had to what I call stair step it. We would do a little to the business and then let the cash flow catch up. And then we'd do a little more, and we were reinvesting everything back in the business. And within the first year, we acquired a second zombie mat. And so now our resources is going two places. And so that was very slow. But every time we did a project, whether it was just as simple as replacing an old toilet with a new toilet, they were always grateful. Most people were always grateful. And when you talked about the self-policing and things like that, the more you fix it up, the more they get to know you and your husband as human beings, not just business owners from afar, or evil corporate people making a bunch of money, but actually just one of us in the community who own the laundromat, and they see you take pride in it, they will defend your business, the best ones, from the minority, I call them dirtbags, but from the minority troublemakers, you're going to end up with a 95 or 98%, to 2%, and your customers will become very, very loyal and protective of your laundromat, and even at times refer to it as their laundromat.
Oh, this is my laundromat.
That's
they
right.
have their favorite machines. Our guests, they definitely have a cadence and sense of ritual and routine, when coming in, for sure.
Yeah. And I love that. We have fully attended stores now, but we didn't at one point. And I always say, whoever it is that's taking care of the store, I want them to take ownership. Now we have a whole leadership team and everything. But at one point, it was just me going there before and after work and cleaning the store. We didn't have any attendants or anything like that at one point. And I always say, whether it's the contractors, or me, or cleaning people, or attendants, or even just the community, the customers coming in using the laundromat, I want them to feel like it's theirs. I want them to kind of take a sense of ownership. And not everybody will do that, but there's a good portion of them that will, and they'll look out for you. So yeah, amazing stuff. Sounds like you're definitely on the right path for sure.
Thank you.
So what have we missed? What you know your business better than us. What have we not covered? And if there isn't anything, that's okay. And we'd want to know what's next. What's next? Where are you going with this? How many are you, when I was 6 months in, I thought I was going to own 100 laundromats at one point. They were all going to be unattended. They were all going to be 24-hour. I was going to have a couple people that roved around to different stores, regional managers, I thought. And that is not at all what our business looks like today. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. What is your vision and your dream for Pelican Laundromat, at least right now?
So our Pelican Laundromat dream is what we wrote down over 6 months ago. And our dream is to own anywhere from 4 to 6.
Okay.
And we have goals of, paying off the debt and growing it to be left as a legacy to David's children. And then I have a niece and a nephew. So that's our goal. There's 6 of them. So there's where we get 6.
Okay.
One thing about me, and my friends will tell you this, that when I put my mind to something and I put it in print, it's getting done.
Yeah.
So when I decided to pick up and move from Chicago, that was done in a matter of weeks. And everyone was like, oh, you were serious. And I was gone. When David and I said, let's really pursue this, and we really got down to it, we said, this is us. So it's done. It's not a matter of if it's going to be 6, it's just when. It's a matter of when. The community down here, there are some tired, wonderful, wonderful areas that need improvement. And I would like to be part of that. There's some great landlords out there that just need the right person in the right space. And it's our generation, right? So we over 50, right? We are seeing the future. And for us, we think about healthcare costs. We think about what's going to be our future. How are we going to take care of ourselves? And then we think about the children, young adults today, and what will they need? Well, they're going to need a little help. And if that can be in the form of a business that they can then grow and make it their own, that's great. I'm not leaving you the money. I'm living off of that, but I'll give you the bones of something that you can individualize and then make it bigger, greater for yourself and then your families, right? So that is our future. I hope this sparks, your vision is to help independent laundromat owners, right? That's why you guys are are here. And it'd be nice to see more women speak up on it, even if you own it or you don't, because tell you what, as I go out shopping for laundromats all across the great state of Louisiana, the name might be in a man, but it's the woman running it, right?
And that's very common. You're right. You're exactly right.
Even the brother-sister team, that sister ran it, hopefully this empowers others to reach out and say, hey, let's share our story. I think one thing that's not covered often enough is it can be done. Anyone can do this. You don't have to be a mechanic. You don't have to know P&Ls. You don't have to know marketing. You don't have to know, do you want debit or credit? You just have to be brave, and you have to think, what's the best decision for you and your family, and contributing to your community. For me, that was very important, that we're part of the community, and just, hold your nose and go in the deep end.
Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways to be successful with a laundromat. Like, you're doing all card, 24-hour, unattended. We do a hybrid, and we're not 24-hour. Well, one location is, but all of our stores are attended, and we're both successful. Mm-hmm. You're doing only self-serve. We have self-serve, drop-off, pickup, and delivery. And I'm curious, I know you want to go to 4 to 6 laundromats. Do you think you'll stay with the same model, or are you thinking adding wash, dry, fold? Are you wanting to do pickup and delivery? Or do you like that kind of just basic, model? 24-hour unattended works in your community, and you think it'll work in others. What are you thinking?
Well, as we look at space all the time, we're constantly, we go get, it's Louisiana, so we always get a daiquiri in order to make a good decision. So as we go and we go visit a property or walk or go, okay, someone's returned a phone call, we go get our daiquiris and we sit there and kind of think about what we would like. The revenue streams and potential of adding more revenue only helps offset the cost of your build, right? Yeah. So being able to create revenue streams is definitely on our radar. At our current laundromat, we just don't have the space.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. We do have independent operators that come in that work for groups like Hamper and Linen, and they were almost the Uber Eats of laundry. And we have a couple of those customers that utilizes this way. And I love that. So they are making money and they're helping me, and they're in the community because they're driving around trying to pick up laundry for people that are local. When I look at other spaces, we definitely are always thinking about that wash, dry, fold. I come from, again, I have a food background. Right now, very trendy are ghost kitchens. So you might order something on Uber Eats and it's going to be chicken parm, but there's actually no store, or it's branded and it's a ghost kitchen. So is there a way to do wash, dry, fold as a ghost laundromat? I don't even need to be open for self-serve. Is that something that we contemplate? Mm-hmm. We contemplate mobile units often. We're in Louisiana, so hurricanes are a problem. And we contemplate what it looks like to do a mobile. We look also at the wash, dry, fold a lot. We consider that. That's not to say it's not on the table. That to bring in other revenue streams is something we do always evaluate for sure.
So this is your gateway laundromat. That's what you're saying. It's like your gateway drug. It's like your gateway laundromat.
It is our gateway.
You don't know where it's going to go, but there's more drugs somewhere. I mean, more laundromats.
Yes, there are more laundromats.
Yes,
for sure.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. We can't wait to share this story. But thank you so much for taking the time. And I just want to say, obviously I haven't been to a workshop or a coaching client. We haven't even met you in person yet. Right. But hopefully we will someday. I'm sure we will someday. And when we do, I'm a hugger. So you're going to get a big hug from Dave.
Definitely
That's
a hugger
okay.
for sure. Yes.
And Carlo's a hugger too, just not as aggressive as me. I'm just a big teddy bear.
People out and making sure I'm not
definitely a
jumping into their comfort zone. He's like, wow.
It's just kind of who I am. So no apologies. Anyway,
no, I'm looking forward to it.
We need more people like you. In the industry. I'm honored that you have joined our industry. I'm honored that in some way our platform has been a very small part of you joining the industry, and hopefully we've, some little nuggets have come through the platform and the community and all those different things to help you. And you guys are what we need more of. And I love that you're not stopping at one, although if you were, that's totally fine. Right. You're going to do some big things in that market down there. And that's what we need more of. Because I tell people all the time, I'm fairly familiar with a lot of different industries because I know a lot of entrepreneurs. And there is no opportunity on a national level like owning a laundromat. You could go into some communities and there's great opportunities for restaurants. We've talked about those a lot, or laser tag facilities or ice cream stores or whatever you want to call it, right? And some markets are more than others and some are extremely saturated. And that's true in our industry to a certain extent. But man, just collectively across the country, there's still so much need for what we refer to as a modernized laundromat. And that's not one way of running a laundromat. That's not a full service laundry center. That's just modernizing the facility, taking care of people. I call it loving the community, whether it's, unattended, self-serve, big, small, card, no card, whatever, however you want to run your business. Just love and serve people and provide a nice facility. And you're going to do really well financially. You're going to get the benefit of that too. But man, for people like us, and I don't even have to ask you, I can tell, for people like us, means a lot, like that internal satisfaction, that internal gratification of knowing we took something that was a community eyesore and turned it into a community asset. And for us, that means as much as the money. We always just say the money's just a way of keeping score. If we're not making any money, we're not doing a good job of loving our community is kind of how we say. And so if we're loving the community really well, the financial, rewards will follow.
100%.
So thank you so much, Lara.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Anything we can do to help you out, we are always here. Okay.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You got it. Listen, for everyone back home, thanks for joining us today for another episode of the Laundromat Millionaire Show. We'll see you next time for another episode. Take care, everyone.